positive and moving forward. I'm Sarah Rachke. Today on my podcast, I have David Desmond.
Hello, everyone.
What else do you think, David?
So I know another thing, Sarah, that if, kind of connected with that guardianship piece is that you were never actually allowed to even go some of the places you'd love to go. So we've talked about that you've never been outside of New York State, never even been outside of Western New York, for that matter. You've never been more than about an hour and a half from home. And so we've talked about, whether you're going to do some traveling.
I would love to do traveling with you. Like I was just talking about going to maybe a Buffalo Zoo or even somewhere. Because now that you're in alignment with Heritage, like Heritage can't say anything, with you too.
Well, and if you recall, was it last summer we went to Niagara Falls?
Oh, that was beautiful, yeah.
Yeah, which was somewhere you'd never been. And you have some friends out there that we met up with and went for lunch. Well, I actually went for lunch and dinner and the falls in between.
And that was beautiful. That was my very first time ever.
Yes. So even that's, there's just possibilities always when you stay positive, as you say, and again, the perseverance and the persistence carries you forward. And who knows what the future will bring? All kinds of opportunities.
I hope so. I definitely want to go on a vacation. I wanted to go to Walt Disney World, but now after the way I am, I just don't think that's a big thing right now. Maybe in the future when I get a little better, but I definitely want to go maybe on a vacation or somewhere in this summer. But it'll have to be somewhere where I can recover at the same time, I was thinking.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think important for your listeners to know as well that, you do still have your struggles, so you're not able to walk as far as you did. And even with some of the artwork, like, the paintings that you do, your hand was injured. And so it's difficult to, hold utensils, whether it's, a paintbrush or a pen or a pencil. And those are things that are going to possibly be with you for a long, long time, if not forever. And so it's not only about that you've stayed positive to recover, but you're also making lots of adjustments to be able to continue to do some of the things you've always done that you really love, but that you're not able to do them the same as you used to.
Right. Like in the past, I could have probably gone right to Walt Disney World, but now that may be something I'm able to do now, being my own guardian, but not anymore. I couldn't go on a ride or anything right now. I can't even go to Walt Disney World or Seabreeze probably right now.
Well, you keep on working as you are, again, with, the courage that you bring to it, and you keep on getting better and stronger, and who knows where you'll get to.
Yeah. Probably I could go somewhere like maybe on a trip with someone or something like that and hang out like with you or something. But I don't think I should go anywhere dangerous right now to injure myself any worse.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
Have you shared with people, like, again, back to like just some of the adjustments, like did you tell everyone about the new can opener you got?
Recently, I thought one of them I did, but yeah, I got a can opener that opens with my hand and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, so it's a one-handed can opener, which I had never even heard of and thought was quite ingenious. And you showed me how they, hooked it up to your cupboard, and you can use it with just one hand because it's too difficult to use your two hands at the moment.
Yeah, I can't use my other hand, so I have to open it with one hand and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. It even opens like med pill jars and stuff like that, which is. It's pretty hard to readjust my life. Like I said, Marina just ordered me, like I said, some pillows for my tailbone too.
Yep.
So I'm going to try to start taking a bath, and there's like tailbone like pills you can put in the bath too. They're like inflatable. So she just got me those too, and those are going to be hopefully easier for me to take a bath.
Well, and you made a good point about the opener, the can opener, because there are people like myself who sometimes struggle to open a pill bottle with two able-bodied hands. And so your can opener that actually helps you open a pill bottle with one hand is quite amazing.
Yeah, I got it off Amazon. It was a interesting find. At first I found one that you have to hold it with your hand and then open it with your hand, but that one didn't work because, again, you have to hold it and then open it. So I don't even know what I was thinking. That one wouldn't work.
David, let me ask you, knowing Sarah for as long as you have, before her accident and after her accident, it sounds like you've always had a lot of faith in her. What has changed about Sarah since then?
I love that you use the word faith in her, because that is absolutely true.
How's she a different person now than she was before?
In most ways, not different too much at all as far as her perseverance and her desire to achieve the things she wants to achieve. I do think that she's actually more calm now in a positive way. And it's kind of remarkable to me because, I knew her from before, where she was always kind of, Sarah, you've had your little anxieties and wanted things to be a certain way at a certain time.
I know, yep.
And now you still want things to be a certain way in a certain time, but you seem more relaxed about it and more accepting of the issues that come up. And I wonder sometimes if it's because you've had to accept just all the pain and the delays and the adjustments that in your physical self that's kind of transferred over into just your emotional self.
Maybe, yes. I would admit that. Like I said, I've seen other people in pain too, so I definitely have to admit that. And then also I feel like I've just grown more too, and I also I don't know if I should say it, but I'm just sick of my stepmother always saying that I'm a child.
Yeah, you're 30-something years old, so yeah, I can appreciate why that would be. You're an adult, you've been an adult for a couple decades, and yet you have people who still tell you that, you're a child or that you need the support of others to go about your life, and you've proven definitely to me and to many people that that's untrue, but that doesn't always change everyone else's opinion.
I have a whole family that, unadopted me, that thinks I'm a child, and they never got to know me and all got rid of me, and it actually hurts,
Well, and interesting when you say that as well, because you used to be really, really angry about some of that, and now you speak of it, and there's not that same anger. It's more there's maybe some sense of what word do I want? You've had to just accept it and kind of resolve within yourself to let it be as it is. And I think that's again a credit to you that you have been able to do that, and so that it's not owning your life and owning your day. You recognize it, you acknowledge it, and then you move on.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to change. They unadopted me. They want nothing to do with me, and I tried to show my mother that I could be an adult and I could change. And even just after the accident, I showed her I was different. I showed her I had 2 cats. I showed her even I could be an adult, and she still can't accept it, though. So I give up.
Well, I'll suggest that rather than that you're giving up, you're just moving on.
Yeah.
Bigger and better things.
Yeah, that's a better word. Yeah, moving on. But yeah, she was just a lost cause, I guess.
I think the word I was looking for before was resigned. You have kind of in the best sense of you've resigned yourself to this is just part of what my reality is. It's part of what my life is. I'm not going to let it get me down or own me. I'm going to move on and enjoy the things that I do have control and power over.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah. Yeah. Because I've proved I'm independent. Like I said, I don't do anything wrong with people and stuff like that. And I may have lies made up about me and stuff like that. But again, I have faith in myself.
You do.
And that's the good part. I think that's the best part is I always have faith in myself lately, and that's what's made me stronger, and I think go forward with my life,
Sarah, what was it about, I know David inspired you to, kind of pull out of that and start your life over again, basically. Was it really one specific moment, or was it just several conversations with David that brought you out? Do you remember that change in you from, okay, I'm going to get out of this bed?
If you're talking about in the hospital, there were conversations in the hospital we had. If that's what you're talking about, in the hospital, he told me to keep moving and stuff like that and stuff Like he told me like I was gonna get nowhere. Remember, David, when
Yeah.
you told me I was gonna get nowhere if I didn't continue therapy and if I didn't continue like getting out and stuff like that.
They told you to, even when you weren't doing therapy, to just get up a couple times a day, and even if you just walked to your doorway or into the hall for a minute. And remember, I don't know if you remember, one of the things I used as your incentive was your cats. Like,
Yep.
you want to get back home to be with your kitties.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I know how important that is to you. So anything to get you moving, I was willing to put out there.
Oh, yep. And I started going to my bathroom. That was something I
That's
started.
true, too. You're right. Yep, that's true.
Yeah, I started getting up, going, because they wanted me to use the thing near my bed all the time.
Right, the
Remember?
little porta potty thing.
But I wasn't going to do that. I started getting up, and they didn't want me to because I had the brace on, I think.
Well, they wanted you to always have someone with you to support you, and so to prevent you from falling and getting more injuries.
But I did it anyway.
I know.
You saved that story, in other words, for when it.
Well, it never really seemed applicable to any other circumstance until this happened, and then it was like, all right, Sarah, just so you know, you're not the only one who has ever done this, or that that it's not possible for a person to do. While mine was different, it still has some relation to what you're in, and so, let's go up and at 'em.
So could we draw this correlation between David inspiring you with that and how you want to inspire the listeners of this podcast? Because David is to you what you are to the listeners of this podcast, right?
That's a great point. I'm just so grateful and happy to see Sarah doing as well as she is, considering with what I thought the outcome was going to be. And as well for inviting me to join you on this podcast, Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for joining us, David. Thank you for listening, everyone. I hope this inspires you as much as it inspired me the way David did.